obviously, the three of you have tons and tons of fans. Tell me about the interactions that you've had with the fans. I'm especially thinking of you, Adam, with all the builder nerds out there, the people who like to go into a garage and make stuff. Tell me about like discovering those people and those people discovering you.
Yeah, one of my favorite things, I've given the keynote speech a couple of years at the California State Science Fair. And one of the things I love about the science fair is meeting and talking to the science fair kids. They get the same deer in the headlights look when they meet me, they see me in real life as other kids do, but they almost immediately drop that and start challenging some of our data. And they want to talk about it. And I take it really seriously as an adult. Look, I wear costumes all the time on MythBusters. I love wearing them. In fact, I love wearing them so much, I'm frequently a little embarrassed by what I'm putting on. But I also realize that the desire to do that is the engine of everything that I have. And so I need to give in to that in order to communicate something important.
The desire to
transform myself, to put on a costume. I mean, it's a simple desire, but it goes back to my earliest days, and I think it goes back to my nerdiest days. And I think I want to communicate to the fans of my show, fans of my outlets in media, that that's okay. That it's okay to indulge in that thing because there's something real there, even if other people don't quite understand it. And like, let's be clear, it's like, I really do walk out in front of my crew sometimes and they snicker. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, I'm feeling a little vulnerable, but that's okay, we can deal with that.
But you just said something that I think is inherent in the idea of the ascendance of nerdery, which is the idea that I always talk about when I talk about what I do what I do because I was such a nerdy, isolated kid, and I felt so weird. Yeah. And I want kids like me to not feel isolated and weird the way that I do.
So that makes you swerve harder into the community.
Much harder into the kids, so that they bounce off of my hood.
Do you feel a need to be a leader of those kids?
I just like when people come up to me or write me and say, thanks for making me feel less odd. Yep. Thanks for making me feel like there's someone out there like me. Thanks for giving me ammunition when people make fun of me. I can go, I'm not weird. Look at her. Look at him. And that is in a lot of ways because of the expansion of media and technology, because they're able to see me.
So I'm able
to reach them in a way I couldn't have reached them in the 70s.
Tell me that, okay, is this a possible problem, though? Is the fact that you felt weird and that isolationism, did that actually, in a way, have some positive effects on your creativity later? So, if this actually is happening for real, if we kind of, it's like, it does seem to a degree that, it's like the idea of nerds winning. It's like they're kind of the thought leader, like Judd Apatow or whatever. He was a comedy nerd who loved Dungeons and Dragons, and now he puts them in his shows. Yep. And they say so. If that happens, will the polarity switch, and like the non-nerd be the person who feels isolated, and will they later then become the thought leader?
Like, I don't think so. I think that you got to something important there, which is, everybody feels weird. Everyone feels embarrassed about being themselves. True. Everyone feels lonely. I mean, that's life.
Yeah.
Right?
That's being human.
A monoculture does a great job at drowning that out of the general discussion. But it should be part of the discussion. So maybe the idea isn't that nerds have taken over the world. It's that being uncomfortable and being slightly embarrassed about what you're doing, but still being committed to it because it's important to you, has become a more universal value.